east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say you not there, we stand, if I there, we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. While you forget that, you from Lower Country, you from Maryland. While you from Rewa says, I'm about that way on.
Open conversation has a trend, and we talk about the issues, and we introduce our guests before going into the trending issues. So today, I am going to allow you to tell the public who will be our guest tonight.
So tonight our prime guest is H. Snare Johnson, the executive director of the Munatech Institute of Vocational and Technical Training at the headquarters of the Coalition for Democratic Change.
That's a static.
So Mr. Snare will be here at 8:30 this evening, telling us more about what's happening over there, how it all started, and what is the intent. And I heard that they've graduated students already. So we'll be talking more about the Munatech, vocational and technical training school.
Exactly. So yesterday we heard a news about two seditions been involved into a motor accident. Yes, today the official spokesperson of the CDC campaign team, Kanyo Bagbala, spoke to that. He confirmed it. Classic FM in Markibi County reported that, and Kanyo Bagbala spoke to that. And but they are not dead. They are injured. They are admitted. They are responding to treatment. But the information that went out that they feel dead, no, that information is incorrect. They are alive. But unfortunately, they got caught up into that accident. It's confirmed that they were involved into that accident. We hope and we pray for those Liberians to have speedy recovery and make decisions on October 10th, 2023.
The thing about it is we all are human beings. Unfortunate situations happen. And if I'm related to you and something very unfortunate happens to you, I feel sorry. But the way we go about our politicking is just sad because it's not the exchange of ideas. It's not, being a patriotic citizen and being a, democracy calls for each and every one of us to choose the side we want to associate with. And because I'm associated with another side doesn't make me a lesser Liberian.
No.
And again, the way we do our politicking is just sad because if something happens to another Liberian, all Liberians should have sorrow. If something happens to a human being, somebody gets involved in an accident and that person is wounded, what gives you the authority and you think it's politics to just go on the social media and say the person died, the person is dead?
As wicked and helpless.
Yeah, that is just sad because we, whether we like it or not, these elections are going to come, they're going to pass, and then we're going, Liberia stays. And because we're Liberians, we have to be together as one. It doesn't matter which side you support because the social media was flooded yesterday with this news about these two persons who support the Coalition for Democratic Change, and they said that these people are dead. And the people who are doing this and carrying this thing all over the social media are people in the opposition. It's just sad. It is sad because those people are human beings. They're Liberians. They're human beings. And if they died and they don't vote, what good will it do for you who are spreading this news? Is it going to, even if it's going to change something?
So are you wishing people to die?
Are you wishing people death? And again, if seditions, when campaign was declared open by the National Elections Commission, you know that some seditions carry casket, and even the CDC stand-up bearer, the president of the Republic of Liberia, and top seditions in higher places condemned that attitude. So why should we hold it against them? And if anything happens to anybody because that person associates with CDC, you will just go take to social media and say all those bad things. And you know that if you were in that position and if something happened to you, if you had an accident, all you want people to do is to sympathize with you. You want people to show you care, love, but you do that to another person. You will show people hatred because they don't support your party. Nobody should wish anybody, death because that person doesn't support their party. That is not democracy. That is not politics. It's wickedness in high places.
Yes, wickedness in high places.
But thank God, they are responding to treatment. And God is just God. If God listens to all of us and sees our hearts and see how we behave to one another, none of us will be alive today because of the way we treat each other.
Exactly.
The Bible itself says that the heart of a man is desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Who can determine it?
Yes. So we live by the grace of God because I laugh with you, I smile with you, I pretend, especially politicians, people who are deep into politics, the kind of things they do, the mindset they have for each other, and they pretend. Those are the most desperate people and most terrible people to deal with. Because today you hear somebody saying all the ugly things about someone, and then tomorrow you hear them say this person is the right person to lead this country.
Exactly.
And this person is the right person to be the representative. You kidding me? Have you forgotten what you said, 2 months ago, 1 month ago? So those are the most desperate people on the planet of the earth.
Sure.
And they say, politics, they say, make strange bedfellows. Excuse me, you are a human being.
Okay, so this issue with the elections, Internews, USAID, in partnership with other media institutions, they are doing a great job, a very fantastic job. Now, today there were debates. There were debates in district number 8, in district number 12.
So before we go to the debates, let's talk, since we're talking about the CDC, I saw a video on Facebook. There is this guy who went to school, and I think it's at a university. I didn't see, but the person who posted that on Facebook is, Bwaka Jaleba. And he says that I don't support this, but see what the guys have done to this guy. How in the world somebody is, perpetuating violence against another person? You take that to social media, but you claim not to support what you've posted on Facebook. And you are a Unity Party staunch stalwart because your post on Facebook tells us everything, and you were in the past government. This guy is in class, and then I see him standing, and he has a beret on his head. It's a CDC beret, and everybody is saying, why are you there arguing, they're agitating, and then somebody goes and pull that beret from his head. That's a very short video. I don't know how it ended, but the fact of the matter is this is somebody who is, respected in the CDC, and that what you've posted is not respected in the CDC, but in the Unity Party. And people are, perpetuating violence against somebody. If I want my beret because I support Unity Party and went to school, how does that beret that is on my head, how does it harm you who are in class for which you have to come and fight me to take the beret from my head? How do you do that? And if they were doing that to a partisan of the Unity Party, he wouldn't post that on Facebook. He would not, make that kind of comment. But he wants to bully, and make a show out of that. And he thinks that's something good to do. How are you guys, going about this whole thing about us, selling our candidates when you are involved in all of these kinds of things?
The thing here is, forget about what he said that he doesn't support. He supports it.
That's what I told him. I went on his post and
he
said,
supports it.
You support this. That is why you posted it on Facebook.
Exactly. The thing here is, I didn't know how he got the video, right? I didn't know how he got the video. But the fact of the matter, that thing should not have even been elevated by you.
Him, yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So you are trying to throw the stone and hide your hands.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. So in a lettered man's mind, you support it. Now, this is what we talk about: political intolerance and political tolerance. Allow people to have their political rights to support whomever they want to support. Forget about if the person doesn't support George Weah, or they doesn't support Mr. Bracker, they doesn't support Mr. Cummins, if they support John Brown, let the person have the political right to support whoever.
People? Why do you harass somebody because the person is wearing beret when you know exactly that we are in an electioneering period and campaign is open and people are campaigning
and people are free to express themselves and attach themselves to the political organizations? You don't bully people because they support a particular party. You don't do that.
How does the beret on the guy's head? How does it affect you? He supports CDC, so he wears a beret of the CDC. He goes to class, and everybody attack him, and people harass him.
It's a symbol of his political attachment.
Yeah, you need to take it off. And you think that is something good. You bring it to Facebook to just, bully a certain group of people in the society. But Jimmy, then you got to stop this thing. If you don't have
they're not Jimmy.
No, they're Jimmy.
They are problematic people.
No, they're not problematic.
Disturbing.
No, it's not about being problematic. These people, they assume, that they are the only persons or the only people who are smart. And the people who support the CDC are the motorcyclists, the market women, the people who don't go to school, who don't have any, sense of reasoning.
Any formal knowledge.
So, Ambassador, President George Weah comes from the ghetto and then he rises to the presidency. They believe that shouldn't happen in their widest understanding. Why should a man like this be the president of the Republic of Liberia? We are too smart. We are very, very smart, and this man cannot be our leader. But they have forgotten that the person who is their leader, who they claim is not smart, is doing even more than people who are perceived to be very smart. And the common people, the commoners, see themselves in the president. That is why when he goes anywhere, they gravitate towards him because he doesn't push them aside. He doesn't downgrade them. You downgrade people. You think people are stupid. You think people don't know anything because they support a particular, political party. That is sad.
I think people should be politically tolerant.
Very tolerant of others' views.
People should have the respect for people's political perception, people's political view. If the man support John Brown, let him support John Brown. Obviously. Forget about him. He's not compelled. He's not compelled to support your Peter that you support.
And you think he doesn't know anything? That is why he's supporting John Brown. I don't like to use John Brown because we have Alexander Cummings, we have, Joseph Walker, we have, George Weah, who is the president. If you think this guy supports the CDC and he doesn't know anything, leave him because he has reached 18 years, right? And he supports his party because he has the right under the Constitution to support the party of his choice because he's mature. How in the world you feel so much educated and you think that you're smarter than everybody and you know everything and people should follow you? And if they decide not to follow you, then it means that they don't belong to the society and you just bully them every time. It's just sad.
It's sad. It's wrong. It's very, very wrong, and we must stop that. This is against the Farmington Agreement. It's totally against the Farmington. So, like I was saying, the issue with the Internews, USAID, and other media institutions that are, instituting this debate, I think is necessary. Today, I followed the debates in district number 12 and district number 8. It was a good one. It was very good. And I think these debates are necessary because they afford the people in these districts to come out and to listen to the people who want to lead them, how they can be able to articulate their agendas. So today we listen to what his name, Rufus Nuver, we listen to Jim Napaposufala, we listen to Rufus Swasen, we listen to a couple of them. They told their people what the people needed to hear, and we listen to Mame Kadakai. Karakai was there today. The law.
The law. The law and JFK.
Exactly. I listened to Karakai today. I also listened to what is his name, Prince Toll. A couple of them were there, and I think these debates are necessary. The reasons why they're necessary, it affords those people to be able to tell the people what their platform are, because It is based on this. The people are going to hold you. They're going to tell you, Mr. John Brown, you promised to have lived up to certain standards. And I think from what you are doing, how you are carrying out your leadership, you are diverting from what you told us during the debates. All of the things that you said you would have done for the district, you are slightly, slipping away. And I think we want to give it up for Internews. We want to give it up for USAID. We want to give it up for all of the, collaborating partners that are, carrying out this, district debate. It is welcoming. Honestly, it is welcoming. Something terrific happened in Douala today. I was on the scene and I intervened. There's a man believed to be a white man who was driving a Land Cruiser. And according to eyewitnesses, they said that he had an appointment, he had an arrangement with this young lady. And while driving from somewhere in the Deesville, in the Caldwell area, Deesville, and according to a guy, he said the white man intentionally dropped the body of this lady on the main street from the vehicle. Yes. So when they spotted him, they chased him. According to the people that were there, and I did the video and stuff, they said the guy rode that vehicle. He almost like when you're watching the show and the Fast and Furious, and he wounded people today.
Really?
Yes, he wounded people. Douala Market. I was in Douala Market when almost the people to the front, everybody started running.
Was he caught?
Yes, he was caught. That's where I'm going. Ask people who listening to this video today from Douala Market will call and give a description.
Was he trying to escape?
So he was trying to escape. So when I got on the scene, I talked to eyewitnesses. They said he and this lady, according to the story, he and the lady had something to do, and unfortunately, he killed the lady, put the lady in the car, and dropped her body on the road, and he was running away, all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, wow, you understand? And today, if you see the video, those angry mobs, they damaged the car, they bust all the windshields. I'm telling you, even to an extent, even one motorbike was even on the Land Cruiser. Damaged. I said it was a chaotic scene today. Very, very chaotic. The lady, according to the eyewitnesses, was allegedly killed by the man and dropped off from his car and all of that. It's a white man. I don't know why.
So he's in police custody.
He's currently in police custody. To the I saw the city police. City police came. I saw the Liberia National Police. The Liberia National Police came. His vehicle was taken from the scene. It was driven to the police station. He's in police custody. And I also want to use this medium to talk to the young Liberians to allow the police to take control of the matter now.
I think it's in police.
Yeah, because they were attacking
them at the police station,
yes.
And then the person who was going live said the guy is in there at the police station, and I saw another person whose head was tied with another glove, like that person sustained injury. So that person was about to speak to the media, but then the video went off, so I can't say what exactly he said to them, but it's good that he's in police custody. He will be able to explain exactly why he would throw, allegedly throw a dead body in the street,
yes.
and where he took that person from and what happened is his, the good thing is he is in police custody. The people who he hurt, the law will take its course.
Exactly. So I think we have 4 minutes.
Yeah, the chairperson of the National Elections Commission was in studio today, and one of the main things she stressed was that the National Elections Commission takes highly the Farmington Declaration, and she was calling on all political parties to abide by what they sign up to. It's very, very important as a political party, having signed up to the Farmington Declaration, that you can put yourself, make sure that your partisans you know, doing what is right. That is why it's incumbent upon all political leaders to always preach peace. Because if you, as a political leader, are saying, you know, violence, you know, it gives your supporters the understanding that it's a good thing to be violent during this period. Yeah. And we're told also that, you know, in the case the former Justice Minister,
Chief Justice.
from former Chief Justice, Gloria Musu Scott, defense lawyers, and were at her house today to look at the crime scene. Prosecuting lawyers were there to see what is happening or what happened on that fateful morning or fateful night. So they were there today. And we're also told that there's going to be an autopsy done on the body. And so just to let the public know that this case is moving slowly but surely.
It's been closely followed.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's go to the lines and take a few calls. And after the calls, we will certainly bring in our guests. So the numbers to call are 0880514096, 0880514096. We talk about a few issues. What will be your concern? The conversation is now open. You can put in your calls. And
I don't think we can use this telephone.
It's done?
It's not charged. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we have an alternative there. With you? With me?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So putting your calls to 0881902195. So let's use this Lone Star number 0881902195. We use this alternative tonight. Putting your calls unless you can also call 0772038240. Those of you who have the orange number 0772038240. We're not using our official lines. Please, we apologize because the line is out of current. So these are the numbers. These are the alternative numbers that we are using for tonight. 0881902195. Yes, you know, our people are attracted to their numbers. Okay. So these are the issues that have been talked about. We are reaching our brothers' speedy recovery. Those guys that were cut up, we're reaching them. Okay, I think there's some people are trying to call. Yes, you can put in your calls. So let's go to the lines and take a few calls. Let's get this person. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Oh, let's leave it. 0881902195, 0772038240. These are the numbers before we go to our guest. So you listen to all of the talking points. Okay, I think there people are calling, but I don't know why. I don't know why it is like this tonight. I don't know why. So we could just take a break since it seems.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. While you forget that, you follow. If we not celebrate, we do it.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
From District 4.
Go ahead, James.
Really? It's very sad the news are from Twitter this evening I'm receiving from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Very much put that in law should take a course.
Exactly.
I don't really know what. And those guys, thank God, these are some of the body we can meet on the street. These are some of the things. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
And we should also
So
caution
some of
our.
the battle we accuse the government not working, government this thing go exposing some of the guys. And why can those guys is taking advantage overall? Down to the grounds are well with that. The Indian people don't get our boys are well, our men and women are well with them. They treat them. Thank God is exposing them in the country. Thank you. Your attention.
Thank you very much, sir. 0772038240. We also want to talk to our sisters to be very, very mindful of where they go, who they interact with. We need to talk to them because you lose your life, you're not coming back. You lose your life, you are not coming back. 0772038240. If we can talk to Liberians, we'll take a break. We introduce our guest. I don't know. I think there's the calling. So let's get this person. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
Monimo Chobo Akwe from Kanafi Supermarket.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. For me, I want to talk to my fellow citizen. Even though one Liberian lost their life is bad, but being a citizen, it means that you should be over serious and you lost your life, then you not be able to vote for the re-election of George Weah. So while we are so excited to see George Weah go back to power to complete his development, let us be careful even when we are on a car. Also, let those who are being given car to drive also take note that when people are getting on the car, they should be careful. They should give warning. Because you not just get on a car and because of excitement, you there running with a car and you don't know what is happening behind. So people who are in authority should also take note because we are so feeling bad to see our brothers, getting involved into a situation. So if they listen to us, even citizen, let us be careful because one person lost their life. You are not going to vote for George Weah. And so if you want to see George Weah go back to power, be careful with the life you have because that level when you will not get it again. So I don't want to question all citizens to be careful and be mindful as to how we go about this election so that on that day we ought to watch and we can go to the ballot box and vote that we are in. Thank you for a opportunity.
Thank you very much.
You couldn't have said it any better. That's the best advice you can give anybody. Yeah, because you can be overzealous and you lose your life as a result. You do things that not going to make you go to the polls to vote the person you want to be your leader. You're not going to be part of history making. And who doesn't want to be a part of history making? Everybody has to be careful, regardless of who you want to vote for. But if you're not around, I'm sorry, you're not going to vote. So people have to be very careful. Let's take this break and then we usher in our guests.
Exactly.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together.
Some people call you Paramelis, someone else call you Country Giant. For me, I call you Mama Happy Happy Sin. The Magia with me Happy Sin. Yana wanna Happy Sin. Those people Happy Sin. You're like Happy Sin. You're like Happy Sin. I will call you Happy Sin. Happy Sin. Responsible leader of this world. I will always tell it here. I wish I was 18. Happy 40, no more 18. No more 18 all the way. Mama happy, happy sin. Maria with me heavy sin. Yana wanna heavy sin. So stable people heavy sin. You're like heavy sin. You're like fuck heavy sin. I will go heavy sin. Heavy sin. After just 5 years, every sin of build hospitals, every sin of build the schools, every sin of build the roads, electricity, money people will be sleeping while you working. They don't know you doing the best. They criticize it, but you be focused. Every sin you are sin for heaven. The sleepy monkey them say the rose you belly na sour. Only what there for 12 years. They not pay like 6 hours. See the military hospital like pure. All the thing was too bad. Today from there they will pull it there. But Allah, mama la be a heavy sin. The man give me heavy sin. Yana want a heavy sin. So stable people heavy sin. You're like a heavy sin. You're like fuck heavy sin. I will go heavy sin. Heavy sin.
I will be coming to you shortly to ask you to renew for a second time the mandate that you gave me 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's it. For President, we are re-election. Honorable Abba Jews got my back. Jeremy Manuel Tony, I see you.
And of course, I know Mr. Smith Johnson is enjoying the song, right?
Yeah, I was gonna take you. I said, but where you got this song from?
You enjoying just dance to the beat. Yana boys heaven sent. And of course, that's a fine song there, but let's bring it down now and interact with our guest this evening on Open Conversation. Mr. Smith Johnson, Executive Director, Monantech Institute, Vocational and Technical Training School there. How are you?
I'm great. Very much excited.
Number three,
yeah, son. Yeah.
I'm great. Very much excited to be in the studio again. And we are upbeat, especially during this tense time of electing the next president of Liberia.
Of course. Good. So we're talking more about this institute that you run as an executive director. First of all, give us a background on what led to the establishment of this institution.
Okay, so to listen to that beautiful song you were just playing, it tells you that the young people do appreciate President Weah's educational policies.
Can you speak to the mic?
yes. Let me adjust it for you. Excuse me. Okay,
So like I was saying,
much better.
listen to the music you just played, you could hear or feel the passion of that young man or that young lady singing, in acclamation of what the president has done, for them as young people, especially looking at his own education.
It's too closed.
It's too
gotta
close.
come
Let me.
Yeah, better.
Yes.
Looking at his educational policy. We're talking about the WAS fee payment for 12th grader, an unprecedented educational policy that have transformed the outlook of our education is. So education now is not just for only a few people. I just listen a politician arguing that the president need to pay everybody, pay civil servant where they don't, then their parents will not need school fee. Are you kidding me? How many civil servants we have in Liberia? So are you saying, okay, we pay civil servant well? What happened to the thousands of other young people whose parents are not having monthly income, who are surviving on a daily basis? But they are students. So the young people of our country, they do appreciate what this president has done. And in continuation of that, this president, through the party, the Congress for Democratic Change, by extension the coalition, decided that look, it should not just be the government. The party as an institution, especially a young people-based party, needs to be involved with the training of young people. We need to give young people skills, employable skills that will make them very marketable out there. And so the chairman of the party Honorable Molu took that vision very seriously, and the process a couple of years ago started with the construction of the first building as we have in as Munatech. And that was the vision, to make sure young people have access to vocational and technical training that will give them livelihood. And so in 2022, August 1 to be precise, we launched the Munatech Vocational School, training young people in 8 different disciplines: computer, electricity, general construction, general mechanic, cosmetology, food craft, hospitality, and so forth. And after 1 year of rigorous training, and one of the things that we were able to do was to recruit some of the best in the industry. And of course, that was shown when we had our first graduation or year after.
Before we go to the first graduation, I want to know from you, what is the requirement for entry into that program?
So we have two fronts. Two strain of recruitment.
Okay.
So one of the strain has to do with the technical strain that has academic requirement. So, for example, if you want to do computer, electricity, hospitality, you must at least have a high school education.
Okay. You must have an high school education if you want to do electricity, you want to do computer
and hospitality. Because under no circumstances you can do any of those three without being functionally literate. So we require that you must at least be a high school student, not necessarily a high school graduate, but a high school student with the capacity to read and write.
Okay.
But the rest of the other program, whosoever will, cosmetology, anybody, whether you are educated or not, you can come. General mechanic, we can train you. General construction, which include masonry, plumbing, and carpentry, we can train you. And the rest of the program. So those two streams are there. One requires, minimal academic capacity, and the other one, anybody can come. And that's been very amazing.
When did you open this school?
August 1st, 2022.
2022.
Right.
Do people, was it open only to seditians or Liberians?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, when you go into the graduate chat room, you really see that there were non-seditians there. Because when you follow the interaction among them, so it was open. The chairman was very, very clear with that policy that anybody who wants to learn can come. As a party, especially in persuasion of people to come to our party, we should be open. Because when we open and people see that what we are doing is good, we can win. Politics is all about going after people and bringing them on your side. So we have been very open. Non-citizen, citizen, people who don't even have interest in politics are all being part of our program.
What's the charge?
Absolutely free of charge, except for registration. We do a minimum registration of 1,000 Liberian dollars, but the rest of the thing is free of charge.
So what you free of charge? How do you get all of the materials? And who pays the teachers or the instructors? Where do you get the instructors from?
We recruited those instructors. Like I said, we recruited some of the best in the industry. In fact, that was shown.
So recruit the best. You must be able to pay the best to retain the best.
Exactly.
I do agree with you. For this, at this point, the party is fully responsible to shoulder everything. The party pay the staff from the party's cover. People in the party contribute to make sure it's done. But again, its sustainability is an issue that we are all working on.
That was my next question.
Absolutely. So those are sustainability plans we are putting into place as a party, as an institution, to make sure that move forward. But at the same time, the institution is a public-private institution, though it's owned by CDC as a private entity.
CDC is in power now, and it's owned by CDC, so it's easy to get funding to run it. If the CDC exits power, what is it?
The sustainability.
How do you sustain such an institution?
So I was pushing the point that the institution is also a public-private partnership issue.
Okay.
So by right, in fact, coming to the next fiscal budget year, we are going to write for subsidy. Because we are training Liberian, not necessarily only sedition. Even if we are only sedition, at the same time we have the right to access government resources. So in this coming budget, we apply for subsidy because what we are doing down there is unprecedented. Our first intake of students was over 2,200 students.
Over 2,200
students.
How many students did you graduate recently? You said a year ago you graduated the first batch of students?
No, the first guy we graduated this year. Just a couple of days or weeks ago.
How many students?
We graduated 1,234.
1,200 plus.
Yes.
What is it? And when you graduate students, is that altered?
Okay, how do you lead them?
So in vocational training, there is something we are very concerned of. That is how the students stay in their career path. So one of the things we start with is the job training. So they went for 10 months of instructional period in the classroom, and then we send them out for 2 months on the job training.
Where do you send them?
We send them to different companies. For example, like our electricity student, which were one of the biggest number, we send them to various electricity companies. And up to this point, they are even, because of their performance, most of the companies are even
retain them, right?
Retention is the word, but they still keep them in that process. And we show with their performance from the report,
employed, right?
they will get employed.
Okay.
And the same goes to some of them we send to water and sewer and other places. The cosmetologist students, we send them to some of these salons. We are very convinced some will be retained, but at the same time, some are partnering together to do cooperation that they can have their own salon in their own community.
What is the plan? The president was in Bone County, even in Montserrat County, on his campaign spree, and he says that, if I'm reelected, I want to introduce the cadet program in school. Where if you graduate from high school, before going to college, you can work at, have a job at any of these government entities where you have an experience as a student. But those you have over there are not mostly high school graduate. It's not, a requirement, especially when it comes to some of the disciplines you are offering. So what was the plan? Is it something you're thinking about also, that these students who attend your vocational school also benefit in that direction?
Well, we are training people skills hands-on skills. So the moment they go through the training, the job place is the next place. It's not about
I beg to differ, because we see where there are people in vocational schools, and after graduation, they apply, or the schools send them to other places. And sometimes when you send 5 persons, that entity will take maybe 2. You send 6 persons, they'll take 3, and what becomes of the other people? They have to be hustling and making sure that they find somewhere to fit, and especially if you don't have you don't know anybody, well-known person in society, it becomes a bit difficult.
Well, so for the people we train, it's not a situation of them running around looking for a job.
Okay.
So as part of the sustainable plan, especially going to our next cycle, is to make sure we have the mechanism that will allow them, if they're not employed by an entity or somebody, they can be self-employed. They can.
How?
So, for example, say your cosmetologist students, okay, and say they live in a community, live in the Pinsville community. So we need to get 2 or 3 of them together, give them a minimum starter,
Is that what you're doing?
No, we
The sustainability plan.
that's a sustainable
no.
plan, right?
Okay,
We don't
okay.
have that capacity, but we are hoping that in the next instructional time we will go into that, because that's the way to go. If you go all over West Africa today, every country is concentrating on skills training for young people and allowing them to start immediately as they leave. If they don't have a job in terms of employment, they can be self-employment by getting them together into small.
So that can only happen if you are, given subsidy by the government, right?
Absolutely.
What if you are not given subsidy? What happens?
What happens?
What happens? Because hypothetically, President Weah wins the elections and he has another 6 years in office. It's possible that you can sustain the school, but what happens after his 6 years, his additional 6 years in office? What happens?
So as a party and as an institution, there's the medium-term plan and there's the long-term plan.
Okay.
Exactly as you put it. Right now, we are a governing party. Folks can come around, raise money to support, but that is not sustainable, especially if we maintain a non-fees running institution. So it's all part of the medium and the long-term sustainable plan. Obviously, we are cognizant of that. We know, in fact, those we just graduated, we are still challenged with some of them
What do you mean?
in terms of getting employable opportunity, either through entity or getting themselves together. As, for example, if you have 2-3 carpenter students in a community, we can find tools for them and they start their own carpentry shop. Right. While we were in training, some of the young people doing carpentry were already making money out of fixing small tables, chairs, and the rest of it. So with support, we can do the same for them as soon as they get out of the program. And that's the key thing with vocational and technical training.
How are your trainers recruited for the institute?
Well, we put it out there. People apply. We vetted them. This is a sector we have been in for years. So we're bringing some of the best. And that's what we did for Monatech.
Why is it called Monatech?
Well, it was named after one of our fallen heroes. May also rest in peace, Representative Munai Pena Youngblood, a young woman who was very, very active in the CDC, who was an inspiration to young people. So we wanted her legacy to live on. And that's what that school was named on. And we are very proud that every time that name is called, it resonates something in the minds of young people.
Did you have this plan just to have a lot of people vote for President Weah? You saw this coming, then you as a party, you brought about this institution, right? So that the young people who are going to attend will gravitate towards the CDC, isn't it?
Well, interestingly, the president of Liberia, during the construction and the readiness of that facility, visited that place more than 10 different times.
Why?
His concern was for the young people to have access to training. I didn't see politics in him. I mean, when he kept going, as a matter of fact, most of the equipment we use in that institution today were provided by the president and the Chinese and other
partners.
Yes. So I didn't see politics in him when he decided that.
Even though he's a politician, but he didn't see politics.
But it was done. You would think it was done for a general basis, not general basis.
Absolutely, not necessarily because of election. No, I don't think. As a matter of fact, when the process started to construct that building, if we had finished in a year, maybe would have done 3 or 4 graduation. But that process took some time to get the building ready and all of that. So I'm not sure the president was even thinking about election at that time. He wanted this done for our young people.
CDC, let me just comment. CDC is a grassroots party. A lot of people in different parts of the country are attracted to the party because it's a grassroots movement, like I heard a lot of people say. Now, you have the Monatech. Are you also, contemplating on the people in Riverside, the people in Cape Mount, the people in Bombing, the people in Sino County? Are you
replicating that?
Yes. Are you replicating, the Munanteg ideology in the rest of the other counties?
Again, I talk about private-public partnership. Vocational education, unlike other sector of education, is the most expensive thing to do. Vocational care is so expensive. So the sustainability has to be an issue. That's why I say this coming budgetary year, we apply for subsidy because it's important to do the kind of expansion you're talking about, along with government owns and other private. We need to be supported because what we can do is free of charge, but it has to be a long-term plan. Vocational to run. So, for example, to train one carpenter for a year. I mean, for us, we believe that a year training is effective and makes the person more proficient. To train one person for a year, you need between $700 to $800. One student per year, in terms of electricity, carpentry, and the technical mechanics. Maybe the domestic area, vocational or cosmetology, food craft, maybe you need about $500-600 a year. So take into consideration training thousands of young people.
Okay, talk to Max.
So it's an expensive venture. And I'm glad that the government is making progress in synergizing our vocational policy so that both private, public can be integrated in a way that we can effectively deliver TVET for our people.
Okay.
So so that can be replicated in other parts of Liberia only if you are given subsidy by the government.
Absolutely, because even as a party, we may not have the resources running all through to do that, especially out of food. Some of the private vocational schools in Monrovia are paying close to $500 per year, $500 go around, except for government-owned school.
What is the ratio men to women in that school?
I think it's 50-50 because of the division, the stream we talk about, the technical stream. Now you find more men or male into the technical stream, that is electricity, construction, general mechanic. I mean, it's predominantly male dominated. Okay? And in the other domestic trade, cosmetology, food craft, you have the females in. As a matter of fact, in our food craft class, we have less than 5 male students.
Okay. I don't want to be Chico Vlim to go past
In the electricity class, we have less than 20 females.
But that's a good number. If you have less than 20 females, then it means that the women are even stepping up, which is a good thing. What have you been able to observe since, as an executive director of that institute? I know I heard you say you've been into this for a long time, but having, supervised that technical vocational center, what have you observed?
One of the things the last 1 year have shown me is the readiness and the passion of our young people to upskill.
Okay.
They are so willing. I mean, we had, like I said, we had over 2,000 coming in. One of the major challenges we had to deal with was the training materials. Half of that number had to go away because they couldn't afford. For example, cosmetology.
And you provide all of the materials they use.
We should, but we did not have the capacity to do that.
Okay.
We should. That
Why?
was the
Because
plan.
it's very expensive.
For example, cosmetology. At every step along the way, they have to buy kits worth $40, $45. You're talking about over 10 different steps before they graduate. And that was the plan as an institution to do it, but we did not have the capacity. Like I said, the party, we are all sitting to do a long range plan to make sure that we mitigate that in the next instructional, because it was challenging. Every time we'd have graduated over 2,000 students, but half of that number went away.
What do you, how do you see the students? I hear you say that they are eager to learn. When do they go to school? Is it a whole day program or what?
Okay, so we have two different cohorts, two shifts.
Okay.
We have those who go Monday, Wednesday, Fridays,
Okay.
and another group go Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
How many hours?
They have about 4 or 5 hours in school.
Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
So that in fact that's one of the reasons given the capacity to take all that numbers in a small building like ours. That was part of the plan.
Okay, so people go Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do we have people going in the morning and then others going in the evening
We could have two
sections?
Sections.
morning section and then afternoon section. Yeah.
Are there, requirements to attend the morning section and requirements to attend the evening section?
No,
Is
it's-
it for a specific
No, it's
course?
individual decision. You make a choice. Except when we get to a point where that particular class is filled, then you have to be inconvenient and take what you know. But if you come earlier, you say I want to be in the morning, Wednesday, Friday, obviously we'll give you that class.
Okay, so when are you opening? You just graduated your first batch of students, right? And are all of them out now
Yes, they
in
are.
different entities doing their small thing?
Well, so we have two set of students that graduated,
Hmm.
the rest of the vocational and technical students, and we have the short-term computer program students. They were around 400, and then the rest of them were in a different. So the short-term computer program is open to just anybody. You come, you do 3 months, some did 6 months, intermediate level. But our construction student, our electricity student, most of them are staying in the field. And from what we see in the conversation we have with those entities, they might absorb majority of them.
So your headquarters or that school is open 24/7?
Yes, from morning to 9 o'clock.
Morning
So
to night.
computer program run up to 9 o'clock.
Where do you get electricity from?
The national grade.
Oh, okay. Good. Great. You say you're opening the next people you're registering when?
Well,
Because I know somebody might be listening and want to attend.
Yeah, exactly.
people are pulling in now for registration. We give them the phone. They give you all the information. But we are hoping that with the board and everybody setting up the plan for the next registration, we'll do it immediately after the election.
After election.
Yeah.
Are there specific and I hear critics say that if you're not a seditian, you can't go to the CDC party headquarters to get a form. How true is it?
And one of the things that school has done,
No.
people who never thought of going to the CDC headquarters because of the school, they can work there. I've interacted with people like that every day. If I sometimes they come and say, how they people looking? So I'll ask, what were you thinking? You think what is going on here? But that's one of the things that the school have done. Open the party, make it more transparent. People come and wow, a lot of good stuff going on here. So yeah, it's open. People
Are you
just work there.
excited that the party did that?
If there is anything the party have done, for me as an educator, this is the most profound and remarkable thing.
Why do you think so?
Because for me, I'm a human development person. Anything that develops the human mind, that takes the human mind from one level to another, for me, is my thing. And I think the party have scored big time on this.
You believe so?
I believe
Your critics don't believe so.
Well, one of the things is this is the first time in our country history for any political institution, even the oldest two party never thought of anything like this. But this is the first time. And it's my prayer that other party will emulate that. It's not about criticizing it, because when you do that, you impact, our young people all over the place, and so that is important, and we need to give it up to the CDC.
Do you think this is one thing that is, bringing the young people to President Weah and gravitating towards your party?
His entire educational policy, the twin policy, works and free tuition at university level, public university level, and the vocational school. Of course, the young people, one of the things I've seen in this election, everywhere I go, the young people that listen, there's nothing you can tell them. They know how the generation before them, or their older brothers and sisters before them, struggle with wax fees. Our parents are, in fact, we sitting in this room, we know what our parents went through to pay WAEC fees. But this guy, all he needs to do, go through a 12th grade year and is paid, boom, his studies and get ready for exams. And you think that child will forget about the conduit, about the person who instituted that? Absolutely not. So, President, where educational policy, works, tuition, monotech, it's a big thing for young people, and that's why they keep trooping. Some of them even listen to their parents because that's tangible. They have felt, they have seen. As a matter of fact, during the COVID, students who sat they were giving per diem through some of our partners. And you think somebody would tell them otherwise? No, they won't listen to you.
Those young people who come to your technical school, do you think, and I want your fair, answer when it comes to this, are they putting in the time, or do they see it as a free school and don't care about, learning something? Because that is very, very important. And if they see it that way, are you doing anything to really encourage them to stay in school and learn something for the future? Because that's what you want.
Let me just cycle around your monetary policy.
Let me say this to you. 2 departments, cosmetology, electricity. These young people stay on that campus beyond their study period.
Okay.
I mean, you can see their passion for what they're doing. The girls are fixing hair. They are closed by 4, 5 o'clock, but they are there 7, 8 o'clock. Ask people around the party headquarters. Electricity students, they are there practicing. So for them, they took it as a life. They didn't see it as somebody giving a hand out. So when it comes to our student and seriousness, that was one of the things I really gave to it. And I think that's sparked out of the passion of our own instructors. The instructor put themselves into it. And that's one of the things that really certified me. The instructors were really into the students. They wanted them. They went beyond the regular classroom time. They were all over the place with them, making sure that they were always getting to the next level of their training. So indeed, we saw that in the students.
So, like, I don't know, some vocational training. Are you some students listening? Are there possibilities wherein a student is allowed to do 1 or 2 courses?
You go into a department, and we expect you to cover everything in that department in a 1-year period.
Okay.
So, if you, for example, I know in some vocational school, so a lady can go there and say, "Look, I just want to learn how to braid."
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can go there and talk to the instructors. It's like you are auditing in a university or college, and except that you are not on a regular listing as a student, but you can go there. Obviously, yes, we do that.
Oh, okay. I was just because a lot of people listening.
So if you're in school, grade school, and maybe you're in high school and you want to learn, is it possible? Do you encourage those kind of people, or you have to graduate from high school and attend the vocational school?
Amazingly, our youngest student was around 15 years old. He goes to school in the afternoon and he comes to vocational school in the morning. And we also have high school students who do the same thing. And we have university students who alternate their schedule. So if they went to the university Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they come to Monatech Tuesday, Thursday.
And what do they tell you? Because if I'm in a university and I still want to go and learn how to fix hair, because I know that maybe if I graduate, with a degree in mass communication, it will take me time to go and find an, entity to work with. I'm not even sure what entity is going to take me. But if I learn how to braid hair, I can be doing that. So what do you hear from these students? I want to hear their stories.
Except for 1 or 2 departments, but the rest of the department, in 6 months, students were already making money out of their training. So, for example, the food craft. If you went to the CDC headquarters during training period, they were facing cornbread or facing this. People were buying from them. They were already making money. I know we have some older women in the food craft department. As a matter of fact, there's one of the lady who called Edo Council, and they asked her, "Why you been cooking palm butter and quesadilla all these years? Why you came to do it?" He said, "My son, my children said the tired eating, but they want eat quick food, so I can't learn some of the quick food."
That's nice.
You know, and so in 6 months for electricity students, the kind of intensity we put in our training, in 6 months they could do basic wiring into homes. Basic wiring. Oh yes, absolutely. By the time our young people were graduating, they could do a whole building like this.
Electrical
You mean
Electricity students, yes.
Electrical shock.
Let me. We had a meeting with one of our senior parties, and we were having a conversation about the school. And he said, "Mommy, what you guys are doing?" He said, "Look, there was this young man who came to my house to do some wiring issue I had." He said the guy did the work. He said, following he talking to his colleagues, he said he was so impressed. He said, but why you learn anything? Then he said the kid said, Monatech. He was like,
wow. Man.
Then we just started.
Okay.
I mean, a few days ago, he was shocked. As a matter of fact, he's one of the person who is all over the place raising money for the school. It was very impressive to him. I know that. For me, it's a normal thing. I know when I put in the time, get the kind of instructors, do what I'm supposed to do, I will get the best out of them. And construction. Our construction students that are all over the place. All over the very construction site, they are doing marvelously well. And the way we kept their hands out, they will be among the best middle level technicians in their own field.
So if I want to attend the Monatech, I just need to walk to the CDC party headquarters, obtain a form, fill in the form, and what else?
You fill in the form, you are registered, and you get ready for school to open. As soon as schools get open,
you're in.
You are in.
I'll pay $1,000 Liberian dollars,
Yes.
and then I'm in. Where do you, because you said you registered, over 2,000, pretty close to 2,000 persons, but you were not able to, maintain that number.
Right.
What happens to those people who already registered and you had to send them away?
No, we did not send them away. They were students already. These were students, bona fide students who attended 2-3 months, but it became expensive in some of the departments. For example, cosmetology. TD, you know your women. You are in class. They are getting to pedicure. You have to buy a $35, $45, pedicure kit. Your friends have it and you don't have it. You come 1-2, you're embarrassed. And for us, that's the challenge we have as a party, to don't allow that to happen. We need to put in the resources to make sure young people like that stay in the school, not because they don't have the capacity.
But I like the passion that the party has, and I must applaud you for that because it's very, very important. But if you're paying instructors, why don't the students buy, what is needed to do the course?
To better themselves.
Because
I agree. In fact, that's why half of them date. But yeah, Titi, we must agree that there are young people out there who have a challenging socioeconomic background.
I totally agree with you. But we're also told that if you think education is expensive,
try ignorance.
Right?
I agree.
So if somebody gives you an opportunity, you have instructors who are going to teach you what exactly you want to learn to sustain yourself in the future. You have that opportunity because you pay $1,000 Liberian dollars. Somebody can give you $1,000. I want to attend, Monatech. Pray God, tell me, in this country, we cry poor mouth as a people, but we're not mean to that extent. I can get somebody to give me $30 to buy something that is going to better my life. And that person will proudly give it to me because they know I'm going to school. And when I learn, I will not ask them again.
Right.
So if you want to invest as a young person in yourself, the God is so investment in yourself. The thing about it is the school is free. I pay $1,000. Anybody can give me $1,000 and then I get registered, right? And so I have to remain in the school. I don't have to worry about, I'm not paying teachers. I'm not paying any other thing. That is the party's responsibility to pay the teachers. So if I'm doing cosmetology or I'm doing, what is it? How do you call the one that they fix the food?
Food craft.
Okay, food craft, right? And we need this. I need to learn how to cook jollof rice. After all said and done, I'm going to eat this rice if I learn how to cook it and I cook it well.
And
right?
let me tell you one of the things that happened to our food craft department. So we have 4 different sections in food craft. 4 different sections. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2, Tuesday, Thursday, 2. One of the groups, one of the classes, they collapsed along the line.
Why?
Because what they were doing, it was a communion thing. So the instructors would say, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you all put together, buy your some flour, and today. And the other section were excited to do it. But one of the section there, the typical Liberian attitude, oh, the parties will do everything, blah, blah, blah. They started that politics until none of them from that class graduated.
Wow.
The other 3, they went into it, they sacrificed themselves. And in 6 months, they were already making money.
Of course, because you learn it properly, and then you can make money.
But my concern here, you just struck a point, a very serious point. Now, people are coming with the mentality that, we're going to CDC party headquarters, and the campus is there, and everything is there. We're supposed to be expecting it. Yeah, you understand? Yeah. So that's how we're going. But what are you doing, to be able to provide social counseling for these people who have that kind of mentality?
Right.
Yeah. What are you doing? Because they are stepping out of school. Like you said, what are you doing?
If we have not instituted some professionals in teachers, in administrative staff, we would have kept half of the number we had. That's exactly what we did. We had to keep motivating them, got to keep encouraging them. That look, this is about you. It's not about CDC. It's not about us, administration or instructor. At the end of the day,
it's about your future.
If you are at our graduation ceremony, the excitement.
Why didn't you invite me to this graduation? When you opened the school, you invited me. I went there. And you didn't even invite me to your graduation.
We're sorry about that.
The next guy, anyway.
I think we sent a formal letter to ELBC.
You think?
Yes, I think so. As an
Let's
entity.
leave it at that.
But I absolutely.
I just heard that you graduated students. I was like, what? Like, seriously? But again,
we're sorry about that. I mean,
it
was good that it was
doing a good job.
It was good that we did not do a lot of invitation.
Why?
The biggest space we have in Morovia, the ministerial complex,
was full.
Oh, wow.
All the parents are out. I mean, you have 1,200.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
So if you have each of the students bringing 3 or 4 family members,
no, that's a huge number. It's a huge number.
Yeah, but I was just thinking about what we were just talking about. As it relates to people trying in their own way, their own weak ways, to make sure that they learn something. And let's face the reality. If the party cannot sustain this, you have to pay money to go to Munatech, because if you put it out there and people are registering and you're paying instructors, people will have to come because they want to learn. So if you have an opportunity right now in worst case scenario, and you can get your instructional materials and you cannot hustle to do that so that you learn something for tomorrow, then it's a sad situation. But we must applaud what you're doing. It's for me, I think it's great as long as you have the teachers who are really impacting, knowledge into those people, and they can get out there and do something for themselves. Nobody, whatever you do to sustain yourself is what makes you happy.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be that person who depends on another person.
Right.
If that person will have to feed you, will have to clothe you, you will work for that person, and whatever they say to you is what you're going to do.
They control you.
Yeah, they control you. He who controls,
the belly controls the mind.
So you see, even some of the college students that go to Munatech, yes, they're going to college, going for the big education, but they know they have to sustain themselves getting to that level.
Absolutely.
And so going to college for them now is cool. It's say if I did food craft and I'm in college, fix my donut, fix my stuff.
So they are food craft. That only serialized food, or the teaching people to how to cook
pan butter, the cassava leaf, the beans. Yeah. Where are we with that food?
The way I hear it sounds
where are we?
like, you go in there how to eat all the finger food, right?
Are you that particular on the finger food?
I'm interested. That's why I want to know whether you're
African food.
Food craft, there's something called continental.
Okay.
So continental includes everything.
Okay.
Liberian food, other African food, European food.
Oh, really?
So we train people because some of our food craft students are now in some of the hotels, restaurants. So we have to train them in every bit and pieces to get ready for the job market.
I was just thinking. Now there are a lot of things that you have to do at that, school campus. Now you open the campus to a lot of people who don't even support CDC as well. How do you control student politics? In that kind of building, because some people
have opposition.
Exactly. You understand? Some people will say, "You're not a sedition. You're benefiting from." Exactly. How do you control that?
Interestingly, there was a young man who, I think he came from the ANC or something like that, and he started campaigning.
It's completely on campus, but this campus is on the
CDC compound.
So
let's talk about it.
Absolutely. So I was like, "Hey, guy, you have your right to be here, but this is CDC campus." She got, we counsel him, we talk to him, and but the students themselves have their own elections. Amongst themselves, and it's not based on which political. You are student leader, what you can sell to your colleagues. And we had our first election, the first batch of students. And for me, they did very well. It was a very intense election. There's no small election.
No.
See the young people. In fact, I think we left that building about 11 o'clock that night.
Because you wanted to manipulate the process, right?
No, we want to make sure the right thing.
You want to make sure the right things are done.
They all did it themselves. I think they appreciated what they did, and it's all learning process. As a matter of fact, right after that election, they set up their own auxiliary. The Munatech student for George Weah re-election.
Oh wow!
Nobody
you see, that's how we go, right? That's it.
Okay, Mr. Snare Johnson is our guest this evening on our open conversation. I know we like the politics, but it's also important that we talk about, what's happening with our young people, to our young people, and how they too get incorporated in the society is important. If you don't have skills, you can't make it, especially nowadays. You have to have something hands-on training, because they're talking yes, I say won't go learn how to cook pan butter.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me
Whatever.
We always sit on this show. We sit on this show and say
maybe they cook it differently. I do cook pan butter, right? But I still want to learn how they do this. I
don't see anybody cooking pan butter better than Sally's no woman.
Not better than you.
I don't see it.
I don't know about that. Somebody, you have to taste my pan butter and know whether it resembles that of a Southeasterner, because pan butter is not my best soup though. Okay. So
I can eat it.
I'm from South.
I can eat it 30 days a month.
You can eat it 30 days a month. You see, but for me, I can't. Maybe if I eat it once a month or after 2 months once, that's fine. The soup that I would eat any day, anytime, is tabagi.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
That's the soup.
You see the paradox?
There you go. There you go.
I eat any day, anytime. What about you?
I like it.
I love tabagi to the letter.
I like it. I like it.
So
Seriously.
I do anything to cook it better.
Wow.
And there are people that will tell you to eat tabagi, they got to be thinking.
Yeah.
Whether after all they got to take medication.
They got to go to the bathroom and all of that.
Yeah, but I just love that soup. I'm not
it's one of the best. It's one of the best.
So I will not eat pan butter every day.
Even I myself, I can't remember in the last 3, 4, 5 months when last I ever ate pan butter.
After 3, 4, 5 months, it was the day I ate pan butter.
In fact, the last pan butter I had just ate it yesterday. I ate it for a week.
Crew people will eat pan butter, especially the Grebo people. They will eat it for breakfast. They eat it for lunch.
Absolutely.
They eat it for dinner.
So there are great things going on there at the Munatech, at the CDC's compound. You're listening to the leadership here being represented, talking more about what is going on. The executive director of the Munatech Tech has been represented on this platform, talking more about what is going on. We are talking into the vocational knowledge. This is not really the political thing you want to hear.
But we stay with the political thing, though.
So if you have the political questions, you can fire from all cylinders, and no problem.
Okay, no problem. But those of you listening, and this is also a way to talk to people, to drop their perception of only seditions can go to Monantech. It's open to Liberians. Whether you support CDC or you do not support CDC, it's open to every Liberian to acquire knowledge, because tomorrow nobody knows if you could be a benefactor of giving back to CDC.
Right.
It changes the future.
Like I said, I tell people politics is not about a witchcraft fraternity.
No.
Politics internally is interest.
Mm-hmm.
You may not like CDC today, tomorrow
you can be a citizen.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So we're going to open up the lines now. It's your time to call us on the numbers. 0880-514-096, and you'll be live on Open Conversation. Better still, you can call us on 0770-1926-96, and you'll be live on Open Conversation.
I think they're calling my number.
Okay, whatever number. If they call your number, just pick it up.
Okay, let's take this person from here. Good evening. Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you come from?
This is Mr. Flomo from District 4.
Go ahead, Mr. Flomo.
My dear brother, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the message this evening. But although you're not sport person, but I want to ask a question concerning about sport. Sorry, I know next time the question you can still answer it. What happened? Our sport is going down in the country.
What are you talking?
Because you guys talking about the education, the vocational, all the money.
Mm-hmm.
Sport too is one of the things that you need.
When you say sport is going down, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
It's going down dream. It's going down.
Yeah, but give us examples of what do you mean sport is going down. We don't get it.
Thank you, my dear brother. If you looking at this period in the first term of our president, you see, most often they don't start away of him. When they come here, they go up the there. I don't really know what is unfolding.
Okay, so sports come with a huge responsibility. It comes with seriousness. It comes with practice. It comes with your putting in all. The government makes the funds available, send the team out of the country. It leaves with your performance against your counterpart. Now, if you talk about sports improvement, you see there are constructions of sport parks, which gives you the opportunity to expose your talents. So it is just with your own personal ability to execute what is inside of you. So if the national team leaves this country, the same 90 mini Ghana is playing for, Nigeria is playing for, Tunisia is playing for, Liberia is also playing for the same 90 minis. The ball is not only in Nigeria's half, it cut across the field. So it's about how you manage the talent that is inside of you. Is the national team not going out to play?
I said away, they get beat off.
So I'm gonna go play now.
They're not going out to play.
We have for that one also. If they were not going out, then it's another thing.
They can go out and play. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but they can go out. That means they are funded. They are supported. But it leads with their performances. Thank you.
Let's take our callers. We'll come back to you.
Let's take our callers.
Good evening.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, ma. How you doing?
I'm good.
This is Abenigo Nathan. I call you from Sophie.
Let's hear you.
Abenigo.
Hello?
You are live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you for your program and thank you for the show. I follow the show for the generation of the shows, and I believe that it's very interesting for someone to fall through tonight. And let me applaud your studio guests in fact. But speaking for me, for someone I want to computers. But I'm thinking because I am doing away, maybe there will be little money they pay. So I want to know whether if someone get a phone and do a registration and pay for the amount, 1,000, there will not be little money that will be requested to do away. For now, not be anything. So I want to know.
Okay, he will answer that question.
Okay.
Okay. He
Thank
wants
you.
to know because he's interested in doing computer. He doesn't want to go to school and then they say, okay, my man, you got to collect danda or
Yeah,
hair.
that's much
Is
to
that-
add up to the money you pay. 080514096. An opportunity has been availed for you to be a part of what's happening at the Munan Tech Vocational Institution there on the grounds of the CDC. It is a non-political institution that provides education and vocational training for all Liberians, not only sedition, not only ANC people, not United Party people, not I know all the other party people.
You would know. You would know all the other party people. So somebody was asking that question whether, he doesn't have to pay additional money after paying the 1,000 Liberian dollars to register.
In terms of tuition, absolutely no. The party policy is clear on the school being tuition free. But so for example, you register 1,000 Liberian dollars. You have to have your ID card. You have to have your uniform. Nobody will do that for you. You have to provide.
Oh, they wear uniform?
Yeah, they wear T-shirts.
Okay.
What kind of T-shirts? White T-shirt?
White T-shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it has some inscriptions.
Yes.
Okay. White T-shirt and what? Jeans?
And you wear regular jeans. Yeah. You need to get it one T-shirt. You're good for the whole year.
Okay.
Yeah. So basic. Those are basic things. But in terms of tuition that students in all vocational school pay, either on a monthly basis or on a semester basis, no, we don't. Once you register, you're a student.
People don't pay for assignments.
Well, what happened between teachers and students. Sometimes you are sitting up there, you don't even know what is going on. So that. But in terms of tuition policy, I mean, just like the public university, they don't pay tuition, but I mean, there are things you have to deal with as a student. So that is a normal thing.
Do you think this is going to help the CDC get reelected?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, this is one of the educational policies that's attracting young people to the president. Right after the student council government election with the school, they established themselves into the Monatech student for judge re-election. They did not force all the students, those who wanted, and they are recognized auxiliary in the CDC auxiliary network. And they are all out there getting people to vote for judge.
You haven't gotten latches from the opposition political parties for that reason?
It's unprecedented. What the CDC have done, starting a school, they should be clapping for the CDC. Why would they criticize?
Why would they clap for the CDC when that is, making the CDC to get more votes?
But at the same time, that is making Liberians who vote you need to be upgraded, to have skills, livelihood skills that the one acquired, they will take care of their families.
They understand that one, but it's also taking taking their voters
So
away from them.
they have to. I read something on social media just today. I'm not sure. I will not go into direct quotation because the source were not clear. But I was told that one of the opposition guys said when they take power, they will, scrap the WAS fees payment because it's not legislated. They will stop the. Can you imagine a politician saying that? In this country, our country, if Liberia is amongst the very few countries that government is not directly involved with mass educating her people. This country, our education system has always been an elitist kind of system. Your parents get money or somebody supposed to go to school. You don't get it, you are in the dungeon. If you went to other countries, they have a grant program for students. Schools are free. Something government is doing to make sure people,
the citizens are impacted.
Absolutely. Liberia, over 100 plus 70 years, we have not done until President Weah introduced WAS fees payment. Tuition. And some folks were making it as something gigantic that is undoable. Where were you getting money from? As about someone even naively arguing that the money the student used to pay, how much money students used to pay? But this president decided, look, this headache of people running around looking for school fees, having program, writing people, no. Young man, young woman, Forget about school fees. As a government, we will handle that. You go to school. Today, no child or student in our public learning, higher institution of learning, have to worry about school fees. The same way was. These policies, the free tuition, Monatech, will be one of the number one reason young people will re-elect President we have.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome to Open Conversation.
Yeah, I was just lying down in my bedroom.
What?
Bad.
Yeah.
Hello.
Let's shake up.
Hello?
Go ahead. You say you were just lying down in your bedroom. Must we know where you were lying
I'm
down?
telling you, man.
Oh, okay.
That
You guys are very
yeah,
funny in
man.
this country. Go ahead. At least you're lying down for us. We're sitting up here. Let's hear you.
I'm speaking from Files.
Okay, let's hear you,
That's
Stevie.
right, yeah.
I
Steve?
think Stevie gone off, right? Stevie? I think he gone off.
I think
He's still sleeping.
he come and sit
Steven,
up.
yeah, Steven, you need to get up from your bed
Yeah.
and then call back again, yeah? And let's talk.
Yeah,
to
you are wrote.
So when it comes to education, this president have scored big time. As a matter of fact, I'm told that other West African countries, especially English West African countries, are now trying to copy from what the CDC political parties are now trying to copy what the CDC, because nobody have done it in West Africa. For political party to have a learning institution. And that is why, as a party, we have to make sure we put everything into it that it will blossom. We need more than, at least in Montserrat, our projection is to at least do 3 campuses
in Montserrat.
in Montserrat. At least
You're not thinking about the counties yet, though.
you have to start. Is
it about having all of these campuses and graduating all of these people, but will they find job?
Vocational education is not about finding job. If you can't find job, you create job.
Okay,
that's the ingredient of vocational education. So if I was trained as a carpenter or a mason or plumber, jobs are already there. Right in my community, once people know I'm a plumber, every
and a
day,
good one too.
and a good one, every day I will have bread on my table.
At least you know something, you know how to use your hands, and you can get money out of that, even if you don't have a permanent job, right?
Electricity, we need to train at least 5,000 middle-level, well-trained electricians throughout the country. We need to do that. With the expansion of our electricity grid all over the place, with what the president is doing with electricity, we need a technician to man those homes, because every day people will have problems. If you don't have trained somebody in our communities, you get people who can learn by themselves, and sometimes we call them electrician. They are around, because if the capable is not available,
be there.
the guy who was there throughout the entire water, he would do it. And so that's the way to go as a country. We need to train middle-level technicians, whether they're electricians, whether they're plumbers, whether they're masons, whether they're carpenters. We need to do that in mass, for that matter.
Are you, excited that you made a decision to be a seditian?
I am. 6 years ago when I made that decision, and I was, like I said on that program that day, I remember very vividly. I said, it is my decision. I took that decision that I would support this president, and I'm glad I did it. And I've not had one regret since that point to this day. There were folks who thought, because you wanted this. No, it was more than that. We needed to come together to help this president, and I'm glad we did. 1,200 students have skills today. They're working out. Some have opportunity of job. Some are creating job for themselves. Some are creating income for themselves. If we are stay apart and say we want to just be opposition, and what is happening in the opposition community?
What is happening there?
You see the level of venom. That's not being opposition.
How would you describe that?
I mean, you are just the wicked. You say all sort of negative. How the issue of drugs that is perishing West Africa, you're making it a Joshua issue? Are you serious? Because you don't have any campaign message. Because you don't have any campaign message. Drugs arrested RI, you're making it an issue. We're right in this country, and I was in the government at the time. The escort one police driver of Manasali Culver transported drugs from the Sierra Leone border. He was arrested. He was there. Nobody blamed Manasali for that. Why are you tying? I mean, so these guys are not serious. Nothing to say about this president. This president has outperformed them. So the only thing they'll look for all the frivolity. If they're not talking about drug, they're talking about things that don't match the policy conversation. Challenge the president. What is he doing? Is he not doing roads? Is he not expanding our electricity? Education, is he not having the process? These are the issues, but you jumping from talking about drugs. How drugs is a president issue. As a matter of fact, we need to commend this president. Titi, you've been around how we all have been saying we need to pass the non-billable drug law. That law, the president support President King, we did not do it. When was it done? By this president. The security apparatus at RIA arrested somebody, then you say you blaming it. If the president wanted it done, they would have arrested. No.
In my widest, in anybody's widest understanding, the security apparatus, everybody is, controlled, whether you like it or not. This man is the head of the government of the Republic.
That's what our Constitution says.
If he wants something to happen, it happens because he is in charge.
Precisely.
But the security people who work for the state are the ones who,
are investigating this matter.
Right.
Not only that, but they're the ones who caught.
Right,
so the government caught the drugs.
Yeah,
and it was not even caught by external forces.
So quote unquote, the government caught the government drugs.
Yeah. And even, preliminary investigations said that it was moringa, but it said, no, we have to get it tested.
These same
government says,
yes,
we have to get it tested to know exactly whether this is moringa leaves or not. And the government tested and came back to the Liberian people and says, no, this is myth and this is not moringa.
And we need to further.
You don't heal the government, but you make it a political,
a campaign issue. How is that a campaign issue? How? I mean, but that's Liberia for maybe after the election, when President Weah is pretty seated, all this noise should go down, maybe.
So you think the opposition should be holding the government and every Liberian should be holding
even if you're not holding the government, but start creating scenario and putting our country in a bad international image that we don't know what we are doing. We are allowing. Can you imagine the American gave her information about drugs? The drugs came, it was arrested 100,000. The American burned the drugs in their person. Then you still accusing the government.
So you think they don't have any message, right?
They don't. Let's discuss the issue. Tell me that President Weah is not doing this, is not doing that. Let's talk about what he has done. What's your evaluation of what he has done? Those are the issues. Not to get on frivolity, forget about the serious policy conversation, and you bring in things that distraction.
Do you want to participate on the program? Oh, I'm sorry. I think, you can still call back if you want to participate on the program, 0770-1926-96. Mr. Snare Johnson, he's the executive director of the Monatech Institute at the headquarters of the CDC. And we're talking all about that institution that graduated its first batch of students. It's a few weeks ago. A few days ago.
Yes, couple of days.
I know we in Liberia love politics, and because we're not
firing the politics.
You guys seem a little bit. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good evening. Welcome to Open Conversation.
Yeah, my name is Jonah Slomo, calling from Pinsville, Jova.
Let's hear you, Jonah.
Yeah, I want to be part of the vocational school. That's what I call.
Okay.
I want to be part of the vocational school which you're discussing.
Okay, so Mr. Snare Johnson will tell you what to do. Thank you.
Keep listening.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So you got one student there.
Oh yeah, you just need to walk to the campus of the Munatech at the CDC headquarters in Congo Town, just across the road from Lone Star. Just walking, get to the security, says, please show me the vocational school. And they will happily show you the vocational school. And you'll be welcome, give you all the information. And boom, you are part of the process. Anybody can be part of it, whether you are educated or not, you can be part of the process.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. This is Sam JC calling from Bannersville.
Let's hear you.
Yeah. Oh, I heard our administrator, the director, and the skill aligning the courses. But let me first say appreciating for the work done to pass on knowledge to our brothers. But I ain't calling online courses. I didn't hear agriculture, and that is breaking me down.
Agriculture.
The agriculture education is important. You also want to start growing food to help Liberia, but courses or maybe an institution like that is actually giving opportunities to people to do vocational courses. And there's nothing like agriculture around. For some also having a passion in that direction, we see that because it's like we have been left out.
Okay, he's going to speak to that. Thank you so much for being a part of the program.
Thank you.
Okay. So you heard him. He said he feels bad because you're not offering,
Do you offer things like agriculture?
No, absolutely not. And it has to do with our own capacity gap. Agriculture requires space and environment, and we hope that, like we said, as part of our medium-term plan to open 2 additional councils in Mosovado County. If one of the campuses are close to an environment that will offer, we need a train.
Let me hold you there and take this person. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Titi, and good evening to your studio guests. This is Ojuku Boboswa Ojuku. I call directly to appreciate your studio guests for the level of professionalism I exhibited over the period of time by maintaining that school professionally, because people would think that the school, because the school is it has been built by the CDC, people thought it would be a political school. No. But people from all over are attending that school. So this is the first time in history in this country for a political party to establish a vocational institution, for a political party to believe in the young people, to train them that you can be somebody tomorrow. So this party is not about only politics. This party is about moving the minds of the young people, helping our society to build our society, and also ensuring that we can give back to the society through vocational programs. So we want to say to the administrator, we want to say to you, thank you, and may the soul of the late Muna Enon Youngblood, a born revolutionary female general, that the school will name in her name. So we want to say, kudos to him, he was so rest in peace. And that school will live on, and that school will even go beyond what people will benefit. So we want to encourage everybody. That school is not a political school. You are allowed to come to the school to acquire education and see how best you can help yourself tomorrow. So that is the dream of the CDC, to improve the life of the young people, to improve the life of the Liberian people. So that's why if you follow our mantra in the purple agenda, we are improving the educational sector of our country, providing free tuition across the bureau, ensuring that we can make colleges and universities free. So we should start with it at the headquarters of the Congress of Democratic Change. Thank you very much.
Agu is strong. Thank you, Ojugu. The man lay points.
Sure. And if you would have given him, he would have come more.
Yes, he would just go on and on and on and on. But somebody asked a question. Did you answer that question?
I think he was on it about the agriculture.
So like I was saying, in our medium and long-term plan, if we have 2 additional campuses, and especially where we are close to an environment, we can do middle level agricultural technician training, where young people can learn how to grow food, basic food, fruits, plants, and all of that. I mean,
that's something you're thinking about?
That when it comes to food production, that is something at every level of our education in this country we should think about.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, anything that happen without food maximization, without food production, without food sufficiency as a country, it makes our independence completely out of order. So any institution for that matter, we should start thinking about agriculture. And so we take his point, seriously, and we will try to put that in our medium to long-term plan.
Okay, great. Do you have any other thing to say?
I think we're just having a very, calm conversation, not the normal political stuff.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, I'm Brother Maurice. I'm calling from Fire School Division 27.
Okay, Maurice, are you sleeping here? You just woke up from your bed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where are you now?
I just want to go put
money in the phone.
10 minutes.
Okay, go ahead before the 10 minutes finish. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to appreciate the serial guest for his good knowledge of imparting. When you impart knowledge to people, you have developed a whole country. But my question here is that process would be a continual process.
Okay, you just woke up from your bed for true.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he will answer that in his parting
Maurice,
because he talked about that earlier, and the plans they have to sustain that. But keep listening. He's going to talk about that. Thank you so much. I think you really want to get, you want to know. That's why you would even go and put money on your phone just to call back. So it's important that you respond.
Maurice didn't get that part of you.
Yeah. We don't have much time.
So you could
talk about that. Then we get your parting comments.
Well, Maurice, your concern, Jermaine, and of course, we have to keep the school going. Training. I said something at our graduation. I was reading, a historical piece on Liberia, and the late legendary Liberian lawyer, politician, and human rights advocate Detour. He told the two-party government over 100 years ago. He said, "Look, from what I see, from what I stand, we have to mass educate our people. If we don't, Monroe will get very much small and unbearable for you guys to live. You guys need to make sure, because in his town, Detour time, so it was the CWA, this one, that one. There were not schools built for every Liberian. If you read her thesis or PhD dissertation, Miss DeLone, an American Liberian educator, she talked about the education system in Liberia, the history, how it was made, the education system was established for a certain group of people to educate. So Detour saw that. Detour said, look, government, we got to get serious. Let's mass educate, let's build schools, let's do this. Because if we don't, we will get into problem. So the same goes for us as a country today. We have to mass educate in technical vocational education and training. We have to. Because it's about the bread and butter issue. It's not about the English and the Bakus and no. We'll get to a point where you will now have the NGOs, the companies to employ everybody. Even a country like Ghana with all the universities, they are now concentrating on focusing because they have realized that hands-on will keep young people busy and they can raise their own income on a daily basis instead of just the academic. Academic, good, but we have to do it. So what CDC is doing, we encourage other political parties to do it, other institutions to do it. Let's establish skills training program all over the place so that our young people will be trained. Even if nobody employs them, they can make employment for themselves and get their own income.
We'll take that as your parting comment.
Absolutely.
Mr. Snell Johnson, thank you so much for sitting with us this evening on Open Conversation. And we'd like to applaud you for the work you do. And I'm sure the young people who are taking up their time to learn something will not regret it in the future. And trust me, I myself coming there to learn how to cook. If you don't have anything doing right now, it's not the end of the road. Exactly. You have an opportunity to grab it, learn how to do something that you can use your hands to do and get money. Right. And maybe when you graduate from the university or you graduate wherever you graduate from, if you know how to cook, you know how to cook. You can fit somewhere. You can be whoever you want to be. I'm sitting here and talking, running my mouth. But if I want cake, I will pay money to somebody for that cake. If I want somebody to cook food for me, they're going to do food. The electricians we're using every day now, we have to pay them. So everything you do, especially that, brings money to you, is very, very important. And one thing that is important that people need to know is whatever you learn how to do, learn how to do it well. Absolutely. Because if you don't know how to do it properly and do it well, trust me, there's so many people who are learning it. The papa people plenty, and the people who learning it well, they're also plenty. So you have to do it to the best of your ability. Absolutely. So help you God. And then people will always call you to do that.
That's it. And the customer will always look for the best. If you went to them for the first time, you do it to your optimum.
There are certain people always look for them. If they want, certain things done, they have to look for those people. Right. You will be there, is it? But an electrician, please give me a break. Well, because I call you and then you got everything blown off in my house. Yeah. Am I going to call you again? No. Okay, so that is it. No. Thank you so much for taking up your time to sit with us this evening on Open Conversation. Washington?
Yeah, it's a good. It was actually a good one. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I'm honored to sit with you as well, sir. So it was an ecstatic moment with the director, and we look forward to more of these conversations. And tomorrow, hopefully, will be a beautiful conversation. We are assured that we'll be speaking with both the presidential candidate and the vice presidential candidate of the People Restoration Party? Liberia Restoration Party. I'm sorry. Liberia Restoration Party of Alan Brown and Nuzvet Weir. Yeah, so they have assured that they will be here tomorrow. So tomorrow will be concluding the week, right?
Of course. It's Friday. Who doesn't like Friday? Join us tomorrow.
So that's my party coming. Join us tomorrow.
Evening.
Bye-bye.
Pointed on a TD. Let's stand and vote CDC. No more
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fight. From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. While you forget that, you from Lower Country, from Maryland. While you from Massachusetts, I'm about to go on your trip. I'm up on the fine way. Tabila, I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. Raised in the slum, but I chill with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bone. True son of the soil.